depending on what part of the world you're in right now, ladies and gents. It's another episode of Fighting Words with Kev and Shells. This is your boy Shells.
This is Kev,
Right?
Sports. Thought you was about to be me for a second, huh?
Word.
It's late.
I'm still. My mind is still on that crazy card we had, man. That's what it is, man. That crazy
UFC
card we
out
had.
the park, man.
Listen. We gotta give it to the fighters. Every single one of them put it all out there on the octagon. Every single one of them, especially in that main card. Like, it was crazy. It was
real good.
So
real good. I can't.
Let's get to talking. Let's start with the main event. Let's get straight to it.
Man.
Covington versus Usman. That was a card. That was a fight.
We both picked Kamaru, right?
We did both pick Kamaru.
Yeah, so what you thought?
That was more impressive than the first fight. That was more impressive than the first fight.
Yeah. It was more drama. It was more drama.
More drama.
Because the first fight was blockbuster.
Yeah, the first fight, that was a blockbuster. But this fight, Usman looked like he was more in danger in this fight than he was in the last fight.
Yeah, they made adjustments.
Wrestling was involved.
Yo, but as far as the wrestling,
and it was more a part of the bout than I thought they did wrestling. They probably just played with it. The wrestling was more part of this fight than I even expected.
Yeah, I think Kofi had to switch it up because he didn't win the other way. It wasn't working. Yeah, and it worked because I think it made Usman aware. So it made him aware of the wrestling, and I think Kobe was able to land some things. And it may have wore Usman out a little bit as well. You know what I'm saying? Because he stuffed everything. Man, it wasn't necessarily effective as far as scoring, but it may have got him a little tired. It may have wore him down a little bit.
I mean, there was a couple times in there who I thought won.
No.
I mean, I'm not mad.
Tell me. No. There was a couple of times in there. We're gonna get to that. Go ahead. You said there was a couple of times in there.
I was gonna say there were a couple of times when I thought for sure Covington was out the game. I gotta respect his, especially in that second round. I gotta respect his endurance to bounce back up from especially those two shots that he caught in the second round when.
You said a couple of times. Those were a couple of times.
Nah. I mean, those other times, but that time he was in crazy danger, and him being able to bounce back in the second round like that and go the distance. That tells you the skill level that he has himself as a fighter.
He went back to the corner at the end of the second round. That was the first time I looked at Covington, and I saw a person that looked not confident. He sat on that stool, bro, and he looked like, damn
what I got myself into.
He had a look on his face like no smiles, no like it was just like I gotta figure this out, you know.
I believe he did. He came back and he showed heart for the rest of the fight. As opposed as the question as to who won, I mean, I'm not mad at the decision.
Right. Did you hear the score?
Yes, it was a unanimous decision. I think the two judges scored it 47-46, and one judge scored it, I think, like 48 or 49-46, something like that.
Wow. Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. I'm not mad at the decision. You know, I did believe that even though Kumar was more in danger in this bout than in their first encounter, I did believe that he showed enough skills and enough evidence to show that he was a better fighter tonight.
Right.
Especially that second round, every takedown defense, every crazy left jab that was really cutting through Kobe's defense. I have to give it to Usman, you know. But you gotta give it back. You gotta give it to Covington too.
I thought he definitely took the last 2 rounds. But because that second round, I think they were saying that could have been a 10-8 round. So I thought it was kind of close. Because I thought Kobe won the last 2 rounds. I thought he won the last 2, And I thought that well, Kamaru with that second round, that 10-8, I think that kind of solidified him. I think there's something. I think Kobe might have. It's not that Kobe is the first one doing it, but Kamaru's there to be hit. He has a great chin, but he's there to be hit. Like when Burns hit him, was able to hit him clean and hurt him. Like, and I'm looking at it, bro. I'm like, in his exchanges, you don't want to get into exchanges with Kamaru, but he's there. Like his when he's in the middle of the exchanges, he can be hit. And if he gets in there with somebody that can bang, that has more power,
he's in trouble.
Yeah, I would like to see Kamaru and somebody that can hit, like maybe a Luke or somebody like that. That can, like a matchup like that, I think would be good.
I think the reason why that happens because Usman has so much confidence in his jab that he's willing to take a few shots just to land his, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I hear that. That ain't always that's dangerous, bro.
Yeah, that's almost, but
against Kobe,
sometimes it be like that. Sometimes,
because he's been getting. I've seen him get clipped a few times in these fights. That can't keep happening.
Yeah, I mean,
those things.
He's lapping these dudes. He's lapping. I even like the way the fight ended. You know, Kobe Covington broke character.
Character.
They showed. I mean, it was a character. I mean, come on. They showed their mutual respect.
That's who he is, bro. I'm sorry. That's all that you hear. I put it to you like this. That's who he is. He's basically putting it on. Like he's don't get it wrong. He's magnifying it and like putting it on blast. But a lot of those things you hear him saying is who he is. It's just he's just putting a bullhorn to it. Putting it on the loudspeaker.
I mean,
overkill.
And either way, I enjoyed the sportsmanship.
Yeah,
who do you think won that? Because you did ask me. You was gonna ask me who you thought won.
I love the sportsmanship. I agree. That was cool on Covington's side.
Yeah, it was dope.
What you said?
It was dope. You was gonna ask me who I felt won that one, and I said I was happy with decision. What about cool. What do you think is next for Covington though?
Say it again.
What do you think is next for Covington?
We talked about that. I think you mentioned Nate Diaz, bro. I don't.
For Covington,
I tell you what. I think, bro, he's the next best dude in the division. I mean, if he sticks with it, he's 33. He could be back. He could be back in there with Usman again. I mean, I won't be mad at guy losing to a guy twice. You're like, okay, but I'm looking at it. He could be back in there.
That's possible. I do believe that's possible. Because he's the only that's really giving Usman trouble. You're right. I think that's possible. I believe that's possible.
But I do think there's a chance that Usman might lose to somebody. I know it looks crazy, like me saying it. One of these guys that can really crack, he's there to be hit. And I'm watching the fight and I'm looking at it and I'm like, he's there. Like, don't get me wrong, he might hit you first, and that might be it. Yeah. But it's there.
So who's the man to do it then? If that's the case, who's the man to do it?
I want to see more of Luke, what's his name? Vicente, the one that beat Woodley. And he beat
Gotcha.
He beat somebody else recently, right?
Woodley's last fight, right?
Yeah, that was Woodley's last fight, and he beat somebody else by knockout recently too. If I'm not mistaken. I don't know if I got it wrong. It was a Damian Maia. It was somebody he fought. He's sharp.
Well,
he got submission skills. I don't know if he can deal with Kamaru's wrestling, but
yeah,
his striking is sharp and he got good submission skills. And he's like on a 10-fight winning streak, literally. Not even more than that. So I'm saying.
But I hope he doesn't get the fight before. I hope he doesn't. But I don't think he's gonna get that fight before Edwards. I think that's definitely Usman's next fight, bro. If if he gets past Masvidal, so let's not even.
Yeah, bro. Everything that's been going on with Edwards, bro, I wouldn't be surprised. It'd be a clash of heads.
Yeah, something. You're right.
So what's next for Usman? Who's next up? Who do you think should be next up?
Okay.
Can you see being
I think we have to wait and see what happens after the Masvidal.
Okay, out of the
We have to wait.
Okay.
The Masvidal and Edwards fight. I think if Edwards beats Masvidal, then he's definitely the next in line. If Usman, but if Masvidal beats Edwards, I think what might happen is one or two things.
It's one thing. I know what you're gonna say.
Either get the immediate. What we gonna say?
No.
It's probably one.
No, you
Well,
first.
I would say two things. I think one is all right. Cool. I'm gonna say two outcomes. And I believe one is way more likely than the other. The first outcome, which I think is highly unlikely, that he'll get an immediate rematch with Usman. I don't believe that will happen. I think he's gonna get a fight with Covington though.
That's the fight.
I think that's what's gonna happen. If Masvidal beats Edwards, he gets a fight with Covington. If Masvidal loses to Edwards, he still might have to fight Covington. So I think either way, Covington and Masvidal is the next two guys that are just gonna fight. Damn. Because in either outcome, it makes sense.
It's interesting.
If Edwards,
if Edwards,
if Masvidal beats Edwards, then you don't want to give Usman you don't want to give Masvidal the immediate rematch because he already been beaten twice basically. So you got to fight Covington to see if that could justify a championship bout. And if he loses, you fight the dude who just lost the same guy that you had just lost two fights ago. So that's my conspiracy theory. I think that's next to Covington.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
That's what I think next to Covington. Masvidal.
All right, that's fair enough.
What about you?
Next for Covington, Masvidal.
Yeah,
I definitely think it's Masvidal. Like Covington's gonna take some time off. He might have to win at least 2 fights this time before he gets a title shot. Man, I'm just not trying to see Gilbert Burns get.
Covington might win 2 fights, right? Paul, you think Covington might have to win 2 fights to get another title shot?
You think 1 fight? Come on, he lost to the same dude twice already. Come on, man.
But there's no one really else who's giving Usman that kind of trouble.
But you gotta let other people fight him, bro. You gotta let other people fight. How much title shots?
But who others? Yo, Usman is lapping the division. Who's next? Who's free? Who hasn't got a turn except for Edwards?
Yo, the Vicente dude, he got like 12 straight wins. That's one, and he's in the top 10.
All right.
I mean, as much as I hate to say it, I can't.
Comes out.
Nah. He smoked burnt. Nah. He can't jump everybody.
Yeah, I just asked. I just asked. I don't think so. Yeah, I just asked.
That's a great question. I gotta actually look down the list of the division. Vicente is the dude, though. I want to see.
Yeah, we gotta check.
He's in the top 10. I want to see. That's the fight I want to see. No, man, he gotta fight somebody in the top 10. Can't be skipping everybody, man. Ain't no skips, no back skips. No,
I agree with you. I don't think he deserves to be a title shot that fast.
Matter of fact, ain't they trying to?
I just threw him out there because the hype.
Ain't they trying to book him and
Diaz?
Your man's Diaz. Nate the Great.
But is it really happening though? Like that's just talk until kind of like the Diaz brothers until it's been signed. Really no guarantee, bro.
Yeah. But I would like to see that. I think that's a good matchup though.
I would love to see that too, but like I said, until they sound that out of line, I'm not even gonna waste my hopes on it.
All right.
Okay.
We covered that.
Now let's go on to the next one. Rose Namajunas versus Young Wei Lee.
Who going first on this?
Let's start with you.
All right,
because you know what?
Fight. You got it right. You got the prediction right.
We both said it was going to be a war.
But bruh, I ain't gonna lie to you.
We both said it was going to be a war.
Who you thought won the fight?
Well, I think won the fight. I think Rose won the fight. She was more dominant, especially in the last round. She was more dominant. I mean, it was she won by a round.
She may have won by a round. She may have won by a round.
She won by a round. She won by a round.
By a round?
The last round, she made a statement. So I don't. So it's not like she won by a round.
So let me
she
ask you then. So you don't think Weili took the first 3 rounds?
The first 3
rounds,
Rose,
bro? This fight was similar to as far as the scoring, like Israel when he fought Blakovic. Israel early and then Jan late, but the difference was Rose started doing the takedowns in round 4 and 5. And I was watching the fight, and though she clearly won 4 and 5, but I know Weili won the first round, definitely. She won another round in there, bro. It was another round, I think the 3rd round. And I was like, damn, the second round was the iffy round. I'm like, that 3rd round, Rose got, I mean, it was on even terms. And if I'm not mistaken, she took Rose down and started wailing. Yeah. She started wailing on her straight up. She started going in. That fight was pretty close.
It was close, but I still
I'm not saying Rose lost. But if she would have lost, I wouldn't have been upset. I gave it to Weili. It could have went either way. Matter of fact, if you look at some of the Twitter responses with some of the people going into after 3 rounds, a few people put up 30-27 Weili.
Yeah,
I remember seeing that. I'm like, well, if she won the first 3.
Nah, to me, I think it was a close fight, but I did believe Rose did enough to seal the deal.
I hear you. All right, cool.
Yeah, I wasn't mad at the decision, and that was a great fight. That was a great fight, though.
And that was another example of a former champion losing her belt and getting a rematch, and you see a completely different fight. You know what I'm saying?
I hear that. I hear that.
Get rematches straight up.
I still don't believe that should always be the case.
You should get a rematch.
Because you could also argue that you wasted an event on this person who didn't deserve the rematch, but you could have given it to someone who's more deserving in the division. I'm not saying this case. I'm just saying in general.
Deserving than the former champion. They just
no. I'm not. There are examples of someone who's more deserving than the champion, depending on your last performance. If your last performance was that, and you have someone else in the division who totally dominated their last opponent behind the momentum of a extended winning streak, you could argue that person deserves the title match over the former champion.
You could, but this ain't one of them cases.
I mean, I'm like I said, I'm not I still don't agree that she deserved the immediate title rematch, and the loss could be used as proof as to why. But at the same time, I'm not surprised that it was a war because she's the former champion. Like she's not. I never doubted her skill set. I never said she was she was a pretend or paper champion. Like she is a champion for a reason. This is Weili. Like I seen some of the wars she's been in, so I'm not knocking the rematch. I'm just saying, like, if I was one of the matchmakers, I wouldn't have given her the mini rematch. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I hear you. I don't know who number 3 is, number 4 is on the list, man, but she's better than the rest.
No, that could be a reason too, because of who the division is. You're absolutely right. But so I'm not mad at that. If based on the stats, you're still saying that Weili deserves the mini rematch, then you could probably argue that she deserves a 3rd one. If that's the case.
It was a close fight.
If the division is that shallow, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, she got her rematch.
If the division is that shallow, then you might as well,
Yeah, I mean, at this point, she lost her rematch, bro. Somebody else got to go. Come on, you don't just keep fighting if somebody lose. Like you killing future matchups because they're gonna end up having to fight again. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
That was a good fight.
That would be crazy.
You had that one right,
it
bro.
Was.
You had that one right.
It was a nice little bout. It was nice little bout. But I didn't I kind of figured that it would be when I made that prediction. I figured it would be that Rose would have a more dominant performance during the fight.
She was in trouble, bro.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, she was.
She was in trouble. I was watching through 3 rounds.
But it speaks to her endurance.
Say it again.
No, it speaks to her endurance and her fortitude. So
yeah, exactly. Mental toughness too. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I
When she
can't
got
knock
took
her.
down early, I was like, oh man, this is. She was getting her leg tagged up, everything. I'm like, oh man. But she showed her skills. She really showed her skills.
Really trying to make that statement early.
She
Yeah,
was.
both of them, both of them.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
I
Now let's get to the opener of the card. The opener could have easily been the main event in itself.
yeah, bro.
It could have easily been I think it was the field that
It was the
fight of the
fight.
night. It was, I
It
think
was the fight of the
it
night.
was the fight of the night. Okay.
What? What else was the fight of the night?
Yeah, you know you're right.
It
I was gonna
was.
say
It
either that
was,
or the
bro.
Covington Usman fight, but this was a movie. This was a movie. This was a movie. This was a movie.
Bro.
This was
Oh
first of all, the
man.
fact that it went all 3 rounds was crazy.
Yeah, based on what I saw, I didn't know.
Yo, I couldn't imagine it going 3 fucking rounds.
Yo,
And Chandler is a fucking psychopath.
he's doing it for the respect, bro. It looked like he was doing it for the respect.
Yeah, like Jesus Christ.
But yo, it was like watching Gaethje. I thought, to me, Gaethje won because he is more skilled than Champ.
Mm-hmm. I think
But
Chandler
it's
realized
not
that and
by
started doing
much,
that show shit.
bro. It wasn't like he didn't outclass him though, bro. It was like they were on an even playing field. He couldn't
What do you
avoid
think
getting hit.
happened? Gaethje had better cardio or something?
I think Gaethje had more tools in his toolbox. Like Chandler's like Iron Mike for real. He's just throwing punches, haymakers all day. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He could avoid stuff. He could take a good hit. He could handle himself. Like he can defend himself really well. But his power comes from these. Like he's throwing haymakers and timing you.
Yeah.
Like Gaethje's leg kicks. He's doing like there's an arsenal of stuff going on. But dang, like you said, Gaethje had more violence. Like his punches had more violence to it. I believe you, but I'm watching this fight and I'm like, yo, Chandler almost put him out several times. Not even one time. It was about several times. I'm watching it. Chandler almost put him out.
Could it be due because of his inactivity though?
Maybe.
Because he is fighting a guy who this been his first fight since the Khabib that was before the pandemic.
Yeah, it was during the pandemic.
No, because they had a full stadium.
No, it was
No,
still around.
it was. You're right, because
yeah,
he fought Tony Ferguson and that was a
exactly.
it was in the Apex
and I know
Khabib. Yeah, you're right, absolutely right.
Yeah, exactly. Because I remember Khabib
In
fought
Abu Dhabi,
right before the pandemic. Yeah.
You're right. It wasn't okay. You're right. You're absolutely. I'm bugging. I'm thinking of I don't know. I'm thinking of Khabib Poirier. You're right. That was before the pandemic. But nevertheless, it was a minute ago.
Yeah, and not to mention who he was preparing
It was a while ago.
Preparing for two different fighting styles.
Mm-hmm.
Khabib, that's just Khabib's fighting style and Chandler's fighting style is night and day. Like that's preparing for two different things at that. But he knew. I'm pretty sure he had Chandler on deck for a while. He knew what was coming. I think stylistically they just match.
Yeah.
They just.
But he's still fighting. He's still coming over months of inactivity, fighting a guy who's just coming off a title. Even though he lost, he just coming off a title fight. Not too long ago. So that could play an effect too. But you're right.
But the fact that it was
Chandler, you know what? I kind of disagree. Let me say why. I think the reason why Chandler started doing the thing where he was not he was just being a showman, taking hits to the face, saying come here, doing all this. I think he started to realize that he was being outclassed. I think he was realizing that, listen, I'm not gonna win this, but I'm gonna go out on my shield. I think that is why he started doing those answers, because he was doing some crazy. I didn't know if it was because of the concussion, or he knew what the fuck he was doing. This nigga was pointing at shit, saying you got time, but that's what like, nah, he's really been a showman at this point, because he knew. I think he knew at this point, like, yo, Gaethje got me, and I'll just him like just going on his shield for the respect,
possibly
for the respect. So I think he was being outcast, and I think Chandler saw that. Chandler saw that. But he's a tough SOB, which is why Gaethje couldn't knock him down. Those violent shots, those same violent shots that had crippled Ferguson was not doing nothing to Chandler. The way he figured it would do to him. It wasn't doing that shit to him.
I cut you off right there. Ferguson took that for 5 rounds, bro. Nah. His chin.
You're right.
He had a chin, and if he lost his chin, it's because of that fight. He took. You can't take Ferguson's stripes for that.
But here's the thing, though,
forever, bro. Like
I got you, but you know what? I'll give you that. But to be fair, no, you're absolutely right. But let me just point this out to be fair. Who's to say they couldn't go another 2 rounds tonight? There was nothing suggested they couldn't go another 2 rounds tonight.
Look what you just said. At a certain point, he threw what you said. You said it. At a certain point, he realized I cannot beat him. He was at a certain point. Like if you start to look at the geography of the fight, Chandler started backing up. Like you see like a big.
But I don't think. But here's the thing, though. I don't think when I say at a certain point, I don't think his spirit was broken. I think he just realized, yo, it's like the 3rd round, 30 seconds, because he wasn't doing that. He wasn't doing that until like the very end when it was winding down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think he realized, oh, this is 3rd round. I see the timer. You know, you in the NBA when they know like, yo, it's like the 2 minutes in the 4th quarter. It's like 103 to 84. Like, you know, so no one's going crazy no more.
I hear you.
That's what I think it was more or less of that. So that's what made me not class. But
do you think Ferguson had that on his mind at any point in that fight?
Nah.
He was going, I'm gonna figure something out.
Yeah.
5 rounds.
Yeah.
I'm gonna figure something out.
He was on that for 5 rounds. Yeah.
Bro. Oh man.
So what do you think is next for Chandler?
That division is loaded. You could throw him up.
It is.
You could put him in there with Islam next. I mean, granted, he's taking a lot of damage, and I'm still pointing at Dariush for Islam. I think that's Gaethje. This is the title fight. Dana said it at the press conference. The winner of this fight is getting a title shot.
Can I say something though?
The winner of that fight. There it is. Is
okay. When did he say that?
Right in the press, just now. The press conference for this main event.
Really? Because what I heard him say, when they asked him, this is what I heard him say. He said, "It makes sense, but we'll see what happens."
That's what you heard?
That's what I heard.
Nah, he said the winner of this fight is getting a title shot. Dude put him on the spot. What are you talking about?
Yo, I heard him say, we can watch it. I heard him say, it makes sense, but we'll see what happens. And I remember laughing to me like, yo, listen, he's gonna fight. Gaethje's gonna fight Islam. I that's what I think. I'm a timestamp and send it. I believe Chandler's gonna fight Dariush next.
Nah, that's a quick turnaround. And what's his name is already there. Islam is already. What's his name just got busted up, bro. Chandler really got busted. Nah, Chandler, he gonna need some time, bro.
But I know he's gonna need some. Which is why when he gets his time, he's gonna fight Dariush. That's what I believe. So who you think next for Chandler?
Rest and relax. R&R. What's next what's next? The next thing that's gonna happen in that division is gonna be, I mean, outside of this title fight coming up right now, Gaethje is getting the next title shot, and your boy Islam is fighting Dariush. Or if anything, he might get caught up fighting Chandler. Because remember, by the time Oliveira has a fight right now coming up. Right now. So I'm saying Oliveira has a fight coming up right now. So the next thing is, so Gaethje, they're going to tie that up for Gaethje and what's the name? They're going to hold it there. And in the meantime, Islam is going to fight somebody. The way how Islam is dominating everybody right now, bro, it's not like they're worried that somebody's going to beat him. I don't think they're worried that somebody's going to upset the apple cart. I don't. But I tell you what, it'll be an interesting fight with him and Dariush because he's kind of tricky.
But Dariush is the unsung hero of that division. Like I think anybody he fights would be an interesting fight, but he's just not either he's not marketable or they're not marketing him right. Yeah, it's not the person, but I think what's gonna happen is
you gotta in that sport. I think you really gotta market yourself.
Yeah, you gotta work your stuff, but the UFC is an engine. I think that's one way to justify the pay that they pay the fighters, because they're gonna promote you.
I mean, yeah, but just because, all right,
like in boxing, you gotta promote yourself, kind of. But with UFC, like it's like a machine is behind you in a way.
You're right.
Even if you do,
you're right, but self promotion can get you even will definitely. That's why Dariush isn't. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's talking about it right now.
I think what's gonna happen with Dariush is this: eventually, he's gonna fight those dudes. His path is gonna be slow. He's gonna fight the big names, and if he beats them, people are gonna help him to notice him. Just like Usman.
If he not shook, he gonna fight Islam. That's gonna be the next fight.
I think Islam is gonna fight Chandler. I mean, that's sorry, not Chandler. Gaethje. That's what I believe.
Eventually.
No, I think that's gonna be the next. I think after this, we're gonna see.
Nah, I don't think so.
I think so. I think
Gaethje is hell bent on getting his title shot, and I think he's gonna get it. He's gonna get the title shot, and I think he's deserving. And to be completely honest with you, he's deserving, because to be honest with you, they were gonna give it to Porter.
No, if he gets, I won't be mad.
Huh? Yeah, he's more than deserving.
He gets it,
more than deserving.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, he was the last interim champion going into the Khabib fight. That was him. Him and Poirier prior to that too. Like, these guys are deserving, so I think he's gonna get it. It's just, I think bro, I don't know if any of these dudes can handle this Islam dude. Yo, you know what's so crazy about it? They kept talking about him when Khabib was winning. DC kept saying, "You think Khabib is bad? There's this dude named Islam." Like, they kept talking about him. I'm like, yeah. You talk about it, but they getting the big lights. It don't work out that way. But man,
even Khabib's head coach say, "Listen, this dude's the." Remember, I used to say there's a guy who only one dude who beat Khabib, who took a round from Khabib during training. Yeah. I never said his name, but it's Islam. Like,
I never said his name.
He did. He never said that. He never did say I never said his name, but now I'm gonna say it. It was Islam. Like, they had they had him in the shadows waiting. But we're gonna see, man. But
let's see.
What a night! It was the right place too. MSG. That was a great way to christen the city after the pandemic. That was a great for the UFC to come back after the pandemic to the mecca of all sports. You know, that was a great fight, great bout. All the fights were beautiful. We got more than we expected from our predictions. Like that Gaethje Chandler a full 3 round. I couldn't expect that.
Flying the war, everything. I'm like, oh man,
it was all beautiful. The war between Rose and Wei Lee, got what you paid for there, and definitely Usman versus Covington.
On every
better than the first one. It was more competitive.
I can't even say that. It was more competitive because Kofi didn't get stopped, but the first one was good too.
I think it was more competitive for the fact that Usman was in more trouble in this one, I believe. Yeah. There were times where I felt that I think that
Covington was going to stop Covington. I thought Covington was going to stop him a few times.
But he kept, you're right. Like, there was sometimes if he kept going with the volume punches, instead of like he would switch to wrestling when he had him.
Yeah. It's like he couldn't miss him at spots. It's like he couldn't miss him.
A few times he did that. I didn't get it. Like, why you have him? Why are you going for the? But it was a good fight either way.
Yeah, because he was scared he's gonna get knocked out, bro. You don't want to be in there with that fire for that long. He done hurt him in this fight, knocked him out last fight. I'm pretty sure that was on his mind.
Sure it was on his mind. It was a good fight though.
Yeah, man.
Beautiful, beautiful. But guys, there you go. That's our coverage of UFC 268. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button. So whenever a new episode comes out, you'll be the first one to know.
Yep.
It's another episode of Fighting Words with Kevin Shells. Signing out. Peace.
Thank you.